Alright, ladies and gentlemen, how you guys doing on this Thursday, October 28th, 2021? Thank you for joining me here tonight for another metallic episode of Music of Destruction. Bringing you guys the very best in metal-related content right here on YouTube on one of the only metal channels you need. If you missed anything in the past week, click the eye in the upper right corner. Should be popping up. You can get caught up on all my latest videos. I'd really appreciate it. If you want me to review anything, drop a suggestion in the comment section below. Slam, deathcore, metalcore, modern, tech death, not accepted. Remember, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss anything. You're looking at one of the hardest working metal channels on the platform, bar none, and no one's going to give it to you quite the way I do here at Music of Destruction. Welcome to Top 15 Thursdays on the channel, and I know it's been a long time coming, and tonight we're going deep beneath the earth into Belarus for my top 15 Belarusian metal bands. Now, Belarus has quite the healthy metal scene, but this one did take a long time to put together. And there's some really great bands that hail from this part of the world. Some of my favorite black metal acts actually come out of this country as well as other genres. So let's just get into it, shall we? Coming in at number 15, we have Alfar with Twilight of the Gods, released in 2015 on Soundage Productions. This is Viking death metal. Two genres that you don't really see a lot of bands doing other than Amon Amarth and some others, but this has the best of both worlds. You got some Bathory influence in here as well as some European death metal influence, and it's very old school, has a bit more of a modern production. There's some really epic guitar riffing, drums and bass work on here, and some powerful emotions to do with Norse mythology and things like that, Viking mythology, or Viking history, sorry. Yeah, really awesome stuff with Alfar's Twilight of the Gods gets number 15. Coming in at number 14, we have Altar with Chaos 2006, a demo released in 2006 independently. This is raw black metal, very occult and very atmospheric as well. Very cold and desolate, but has that occultic, I guess you could say ritualistic drum work and guitar work. There's the best of both atmospheres here. It's a little bit difficult to describe. Every band on this list is going to be unique, including bands within black metal, though they get painted as sounding all alike. I don't know why. Altar is a good band. There's a lot of variation here. There's some great atmospheric textures and dissonance. It's an awesome album. Number 14, Altar's Chaos 2006. Coming in at number 13, Balrog on the Throne of Demolition, released in 2005 on Black Abyss Productions. More black metal. Very atmospheric and raw and cold and powerful. Very atmospheric and isolated sounding. Very desolate and misanthropic in the guitar work and drums and bass. It's a very amazing album. If you know who Balrog is, you're going to want to check out On the Throne of Demolition. Gets number 13. Coming in at number 12, Beyond the Darkness with Blind Shadows, released in 2015 on Fono Limited Records. This is death doom metal, though it does lean a little bit more towards the doom metal side, especially with the subject matter and atmospheres. However, there is that death metal tempo increase and some crushing death metal riffs, but it's got a lot of doom metal in here as well. It's the best of both worlds. A band that's fairly overlooked and definitely one you're going to want to check out. It's got some great, memorable tracks. There's a lot of emotion on this album. Very powerful atmosphere coming through as well. Number 12, Beyond the Darkness, Blind Shadows. Coming in at number 11, Disane-We Owe You Nothing, released in 2013 on Southcore Productions, Southern Groove Metal. Approaching sludge in a lot of ways. It's got a lot of that dirty, raw, Southern country influence in terms of the framework and structuring. Lots of sludge influence here as well, but a lot of that groove metal in here as well. So you got really three genres going on here in my opinion. There should be a little bit of a sludge in here as well in terms of describing it under its genre. This is some really great stuff. Disane really reminds me of bands like Acid Bath, I Hate God, Leech Milk, and others like that, but they definitely take that influence from the southern metal scene, as well as Down. You can hear a bit of Down in here as well. Really, that's really what it reminds me of. This is some awesome stuff with Disane-We Owe You Nothing gets number 11. Coming in at number 10, Doomslaughter-Chants of Obliteration, released in 2011 on the legendary Iron Bonehead Productions, one of my favorite labels. Black death metal. Very, very fast, frantic, chaotic, pummeling, fucking absolute insanity with this record. Beats you over the head and pounds you into fucking dust. There's no niceties or nuances or subtle melodic nuances here. It's just straight obliteration to the senses. This is one of the best war metal efforts I've heard in a long time, and Doomslaughter Chants of Obliteration is one you're not going to want to overlook if you like bands like Blasphemy, Tuomul, Revenge, Bestial Warlust, Melgoth right here. They definitely have a lot of that in the framework of their music. You could even throw in Archgoater, Proclamation in here as well. Really great band. Number 10, Doomslaughter-Chants of Obliteration. Coming in at number 9, Ordo, Templi, Orientis-Where Eternally Autumn Winds Blow. Released in 2008 on Rigorism Productions, this is atmospheric DSBM. Hateful, raw, slow, melancholic, depressing, and sad, but ultimately more just complete desolation and isolation and nihilism being expressed here. If you know DSBM and atmospheric black metal, you pretty much know what to expect from this, but there's a lot of surprises in here, especially in the keyboards and the drum work. There's a lot of great atmosphere here. Definitely one you're going to want to get into if you love atmospheric black metal. Number 9, Ordo, Templi, Orientis-Where Eternally Autumn Winds Blow. Coming in at number 8, Soulside, The War Shadows, released in 2008 on Possession Records. This is black metal, hateful, misanthropic, just what you'd expect from black metal. It's got a raw Belarusian feel to it, as do all these bands. You can certainly hear that Belarusian influence on here as well. There's a lot of European black metal influence on here, especially the Norwegian scene and the Swedish scene. You can definitely tell there's a lot of influence there, but it has its own sound as well. Definitely one that you're going to want to check out if you're into cold, hateful black metal. Soulside, The War Shadows gets number 8. Coming in at number 7, Torzer with Consciousness of Hate, released in 2002 on DMC Records. Thrash metal, okay? And I know a lot of people will say, well, this kind of sounds a little bit like Metallica and Megadeth. I would definitely say that Metallica and Megadeth and Exodus would be some of their biggest influences. They definitely have that American thrash sound, but the European thrash sound and a little bit of that German edge comes in here as well. Definitely a very powerful and profound record. I found myself coming back to it over and over. I love it so much. It's so powerfully convicted in its emotional complexity and lyricism, but also instrumentation and overall presentation and song structuring and arrangements, that it's a really awesome listen. And I want to get Torzer's Consciousness of Hate, released in 2002 on DMC Records, gets number 7. Coming in at number 6, Absence of Life, Instinct of Self-Destruction, released in 2021 on Disane-We Productions. This is straight up DSBM, very misanthropic, okay? But it's also got a lot of doom metal tempo, down-tempo-ness to it. Very slow and a very raw crawl through every psychotic emotional state possible. It's got a very schizophrenic feel to it in a lot of ways, but it's also got a lot of self-destructive tendencies, especially in the riffing and the drumming. It sounds like it could fall apart at any moment. There's a lot of fragility to the screams of agony, and just everything about this album screams it's going to fall apart at any moment. But that's what I love about DSBM, is it's so fragile and it's so vulnerable sounding, and that's what you get with this. It's absolutely amazing. Number 6, Absence of Life, Instinct of Self-Destruction. Coming in at number 5, Chaos Machine, Apocalypse Now, released in 2019 independently. This is crossover thrash metal, something you don't really see a lot coming out of Europe, but out of Belarus we have this surprising band, Chaos Machine. Very much reminds me of DRI, Suicidal Tendencies, and other bands within Stormtroopers of Death, as well as other bands within the crossover thrash metal scene. It has a very old school feel, old school garage-like sound to it. Absolutely amazing stuff here, and it's got a lot of that hardcore punk edge to it as well, combining with the thrash metal. And the first band I thought of when I heard this was, of course, Suicidal Tendencies and DRI to be two of the most major ones, but there's a bit of that Stormtroopers of Death that I got from it. But yeah, it's absolutely awesome. Number 5, Chaos Machine, Apocalypse Now. Coming in at number 4, Bonehammer, Through Blood, released in 2016 on Aeon of Horus Productions, black death metal. Again, pummeling fucking brutal war metal, okay? Absolutely cacophonic, chaotic, destructive, and nothing but annihilation coming through your speakers on this one. There is a little bit of melody to it as well. There's some slower parts in terms of tempo, but it's mostly just a straight up fucking assault on all of your senses. And Bonehammer's one of those bands that I'm going to remember for a long time, because if war metal's done right, I absolutely love it to death. I mean, I'm wearing a fucking Melgoth shirt, and one of my favorite Canadian bands is Blasphemy. You get all kinds of influences in here from the early war metal bands. and Bonehammer certainly have no problem with worship, okay, because there's a lot of blasphemy worship in here as well, and Bestial Warlust and other bands, and it's absolutely awesome. Bonehammer, Through Blood gets number 4. Coming in at number 3, Lost Spirit with Disappointment, released in 2021 independently. This is doom metal, though I would say it approaches funeral doom metal in a lot of ways because of its atmosphere, okay? This is just straight up solitude and sorrow and sadness. There is some aggressiveness to it, but not very much. It's a very contemplative listening experience and very unique sounding, as is every band on this list. It's got that Belarusian quality to it, that influence, that environmental impact on the record. And if you like doom metal, or even funeral doom or doom metal, you're not going to be disappointed with this. It's absolutely awesome. Number 3, Lost Spirits, Disappointment. Coming in at number 2, Nechrist with Casus Belli, released in 2006 on SFC Records. Black metal, okay? This is very anti-Christian, destructive, ritualistic black metal. It's very minimalistic, but also has some little bit of complexity to it, but it's very atmospheric and very occultic and ritualistic sounding. This is like straight up stripped back raw black metal. If you know the European black metal scene, you definitely know what Nechrist was going for. But again, with that Belarusian environmental influence, it has its own unique identity. And this is a great band, number 2, Nechrist, Casus Belli. I think I'm saying that right. Coming in at number 1, Vita with Starfrost in the Winterfog Valley, released in 2008 on Stygian Crypt Productions. This is black metal, but it's got its own sound. It's very ambient as well. There's a lot of dark ambient influences and soundscapes here. Very cold. That's the biggest thing I get out of this, is ice, coldness, and isolation. Lots of despair hanging thick in the guitar riffing. One of the thinnest sounding guitar sounds I've heard in a long time, but that's the whole point, because it's so fucking cold and desolate and isolated that it just induces nothing but wanting to be in complete solitude and serenity. There is a bit of a depressive edge to it as well. I mean, it is black metal. It's not going to be positive sounding music, but they have a very unique sound. That's the band playing in the background and on the screen behind you. Yeah, my favorite Belarusian band is Vita. Favorite album, Starfrost in the Winterfog Valley, gets number 1. Alright, so there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed another top 15 in the books here on Music of Destruction. If you're new, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss anything. If you want to help me out with buy some merch, teespring.com/music-of-destruction. Go check that out. Bonfire as well, bonfire.com/store/music-of-destruction. Go and check it out. Putting up some new merch as soon as I get some time. I really hope you guys appreciate the merch. If you want to help on Patreon, you can do that as well. I've been very busy, but there is a new podcast coming as soon as I get time. I'm going to be doing the history of Cryptopsy, which is going to be a great series. But you got The Seed, episode 34, history of the Les Leaders Noir. If you want to go and learn about the French black metal scene, I covered this in depth, and it's a 1-part series. It's about 50 minutes long, and I really did a great job. $5 a month. Patreon.com/music-of-destruction. Your support helps me out to keep making content you love, as well as going to our new YouTube channel, Beyond the Big Screen Movie and Game Review, with Colton James and myself. His narrating skills are taking time to develop. He is new to all of this. I got to give the guy as much patience as he needs to get good at what he's doing. And so yeah, that'll be out as soon as possible. Head on over, Beyond the Big Screen Movie and Game Review. We're doing Alien from 1979. It's going to be awesome. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, we'll see you for the next video. Bye-bye for now.